everything that I was just talking about is important for the bonds-off power distribution, but I wanted to pause on the talk of coalitions and get back into some of the terms from uh, 2.1, and then we'll return back to the bonds-off in lecture for tomorrow. But basically, a few things I want to talk about is how do we pick a quota? Like if we have a weighted voting system with a certain number of votes, like in what way is the quota determined? How, what are the, and also what are the valid choices for the quota? And what issues can arise based on varying quotas and varying numbers? But let's say we're looking at a fresh example where the quota, where we have four voters, vote 7, 6, 4, and 3, quota is unknown. And let's say that this was a real situation where we have four people that we all own parts of a business based on shares or something. And we want to pick a good quota so that we can make a decision without running into too much trouble. One way it's commonly done is by selecting a simple majority quota, which, as we talked about in the last video, means more than half. So the way you could determine a simple majority quota is just by adding up all of the votes and dividing by 2. And of course, majority always implies more than half, not exactly half. So if I was to add those up, that'd be 13, 17, 20 for the total number of votes. So I guess I'll try to write here with my um, pen. V is the total number of votes is 20. And then if you just do V divided by 2, that would give you 50%, which is of course exactly 10. So, but exactly half is never a majority. So a majority quota would actually be 11 in this case. So if we wanted to use a majority quota for the system, we would select 11 as our choice. Or similarly, we could take other forms of majorities, like say, for example, 2/3 majority. That would just be you're going to take 2/3 of the total vote. Sorry, this is really messy. I'm not very good at writing with my mouse. Um, and that would just be 2/3 of 20, which is going to be 40 divided by 3, which I believe is 13.3. Yeah, that'd be 13 and a third. So 13.3 repeating. And again, you want to round it up when it comes out to a non-round number. So, a 2/3 majority would be 14. 3/5 would be a little bit easier since 5 actually goes into 20. That would be 60 over 5, which is 12. And again, majority typically implies it's more than that threshold because 12 would be exactly 3/5. So a 3/5 majority would generally imply 13. But again, it's kind of contextual. Sometimes people mean 3/5 majority to be exactly 3/5 is the quota. So if you're not really sure, you can just assume majority always means more. But just in the real world, it's not necessarily. There's sometimes ambiguity with things like this. But for the sake of the homework and everything, basically always either round up or add 1 to a non-round. When it is round, like in this case, add 1 to that to figure out the majority.